Hello everyone. Welcome back to our Power BI tutorial. Recently, Power BI has introduced new visualization features and chart types, making it an exciting time for report designers. In this video, we'll transform a standard report page into a visually stunning one by leveraging these new capabilities. Each step will bring us closer to a comprehensive redesign that harmonizes various elements on our report page. Let's start by redesigning the slicers on our report page. Just make sure that you're on the latest version of Power BI and have all of the preview features selected. Currently, we have 3 slicers, 2 for changing filter selections at the top and 1 in the middle to switch between sales and quantity metrics. We'll begin with the slicer representing different years. We'll upgrade it to a new slicer type with enhanced formatting options. Navigate to the formatting options to refine the grid layout. Opt for a single row with 3 columns, aligning with the 3 years. Eliminate the button fill color, setting it to 100% transparency. For the selected state, reduce transparency slightly. Choose a color with 70% then to 90% transparency. We can also turn the border off both for selected and default state. And then we can add accent bars for separation between years. We can adjust that with selecting left position and a little bit of transparency. Ensure clarity by adjusting the color settings to render unselected items in white. Friendly, will enable single select, ensuring only 1 year can be selected at a time. Let's proceed by applying the same modifications to the other slicer. Convert it into a new slicer, then utilize the Format Painter to replicate the changes. Select the initial slicer, use the Format Painter, and click on the target slicer. Ensure the layout is consistent, 1 row, 3 columns, and 3 items. To enhance the visual appeal, incorporate images for the product categories, furniture, office supplies, and technology. You can obtain these images from PowerPoint. Open PowerPoint, go to Insert, choose Pictures, and then Stock Images. Enter relevant search terms like Office to find suitable images. Save these images as pictures to use in Power BI. Then, store your images on Dropbox. To use them, copy the Dropbox link and modify the ending part from DL equals 0 to RAW equals 1. In Power BI, navigate to the formatting options of the slicer. There, you'll find a new addition, Images, in the button slicer. However, unlike directly uploading images, we need to create a measure that links to the image URLs. Check the data panel for the prepared measures. Specifically, the image product category measure dynamically retrieves the URL based on the product category. For a unique design, select the slicer and navigate to the button section. Change the fill color to a distinct shade, adjust transparency to 0, and apply the same settings for the selected state. Also, we can turn off the accent bar, since we don't need that anymore. We can consider rounding the shape. We'll be enhancing our Power BI report by adding a dynamic hover effect to our image button slicer. Within the Images section, locate the option to change the state to hover. This will allow us to customize the appearance when users hover over the items. Once in the hover state, we'll set the image as a background when users hover over an item. This creates a smooth and engaging effect. Set the image saturation to 100% for the hover state, ensuring the images appear in full color when selected. For the default state, we'll tone down the color intensity. Set the image saturation to 30%. To address any readability issues, open the callout value settings for the hover state. Ensure that the callout value includes a background, perhaps in a contrasting color like black or a specified color of your choice. Now, let's work on the layout. Set the vertical alignment to the bottom. This ensures that the hover effect appears at the bottom when users interact with the slicer. To add a finishing touch, first, we have to turn the Ignore Padding from Image section, then, go to the Button section and set the padding to create extra space around the images. This step enhances the overall aesthetics of our slicer. For more control, switch to Custom Settings and experiment with different padding values. This allows us to achieve the perfect spacing around the images, customizing it to our liking. Let's enhance the design of our third slicer, responsible for switching between sales and quantity metrics. Duplicate the slicer and ensure it's set as a new button slicer for design flexibility. Select the third slicer and copy the design from the first slicer using the Format Painter tool. This will maintain a cohesive look across all slicers. Adjust the layout as needed. Consider changing the number of columns and resizing to achieve the desired proportions. And there you have it. Our third slicer is now beautifully designed. Stay tuned for the next tutorial in which we are going to continue our redesigning for the cards. If you're enjoying these Power BI tips, don't forget to subscribe and like for more.